This is about creating a home studio to create a CD. And I'm going to go over the different pieces of equipment that I'm using to achieve that. First piece of equipment is an inbox. This inbox is connected to the computer with a UBS cord, which goes into the front of my computer. These two cables right here go into the speakers, and I'm going to talk more about the back of this in a second. So anyway, this is the interface between all the instruments and the computer, and thus from the computer to Pro Tools. What you're looking at right now is a screen from Pro Tools. Each one of these is a track. So we've laid something down, an instrument, vocals, so on and so forth. And the heavy black line here is the volume for each one of these tracks. Now, really, if you're going to do this, I think the best way to do it is if you have two screens. If you want to know why I have two screens, this screen right here is just showing you the individual tracks. If you had two screens, I'm going to minimize this. If you had two screens, you could pull up this screen, and this is your mixing board with Pro Tools. Each track is labeled down here in different settings and whatnot. So in a perfect situation, you have two screens. You have one screen showing your mixing board here, and then you have another screen showing your edit screen here. So back to what we have here. We have two monitors right here. They're elevated. They're elevated to be approximately the same height as your ears. Now back to this inbox. For me, it's better to when I'm recording, I'll be wearing earphones, say if I'm playing the guitar or something, and there's various controls on the inbox. Like this control right here controls the volume to your earphones. If you're done with the track and you want to hear it through the speakers, this would control your monitor volume, and this is your mix volume here. Okay. Now in the version of the inbox that I had before this only had you could run one instrument through it at a time. This one's been expanded, so I'm going to go around now and show you what it looks like on the back. On the back of the inbox, you could take, if you wanted to go direct, for example, you could take a guitar cord and you can go directly into the back of the inbox. That's one route you could take. Or let's say that you thought that the sound by going direct is too thin. Right here is a mixing board, so I can mic the front of the amp through the mixing board, from the mixing board, and then go into the inbox this way, like that, inbox into computer, into Pro Tools. Another thing you can do is you can go direct with say a mic cable direct from the mic into the back of your inbox. The way I do it, the mic I'm using here needs to be powered, so it's going from here to the mixer, which is my power mixer, to the inbox here. Some of the other things that you might want to consider if you're going to do a project like this, like a CD at home, what I found out, for example, like I said before, going direct into the inbox from an instrument tends to be thin, so if I mic it here, it gives me a thicker sound. On the wall here you can see some of the instruments I'm using. The Strat right here This particular Strat has a Roland pickup. So this is your volume, this is your tone, switching back and forth from various pickups. But then this one, by turning this one, you can go, say, from just regular tuning to D tuning to G tuning to drop D. It also has a setting for a 12-string acoustic guitar, or actually just 12-string because it could be electric. And then if you go to this one, it has like nothing. And the next switch would be a Stratocaster sound, Telecaster, humbucking, acoustic guitar. So I've used this for some of the recording, the 12-string especially. This is Paul Reed Smith, and this hookup right here, again, this is a Roland pickup which attaches to a guitar synthesizer. I can run, I can get keys, sounds, winds, different instrument sounds out of the guitar. This is a Ernie Ball Music Man. I have not used it in any recording. When you get into recording, real quick, you're going to find out you need a bass. Went to Guitar Center. This is a Fender bass, a Mexican used Fender bass. I think I paid $400, maybe $500. This is an old guitar from college. It's a German brand called Framus. I've changed out the pickups. Now it's got two humbucking pickups. It's got a really good tone to it. This is a Jimi Hendrix Strat, which is really cool. I really like the neck. The problem is these knobs. If you're playing, a lot of times you just inadvertently hit these knobs and screw things up. Also, if you're playing, it's not cut away deep enough like it is here, so you have problems getting down here. So anyway, that's the Jimi Hendrix Strat. On the acoustic, on some of the acoustic guitar tracks that I'm doing, I tried going direct in to the inbox, and again, it's very, very thin. So now what I'm doing, this is a electric acoustic Yamaha, and I've tried running it through the amp and miking it. That's got a good sound, but the best sound that I've come up with is just putting a mic in front of the guitar and going directly into the inbox into Pro Tools. This is an old Ovation, like 1980 Ovation with a pickup here. This right here, this is a Fender Squier that my stepson Eric turned into a piece of art. So we have it decorating the walls. And then there's various pictures, Jimi Hendrix, The Who, and so forth of guitarists that have influenced me. One of my favorite would be over here, and this would be Roy Gallagher. Excellent guitar player. And then probably the most influential songwriter in my generation would be Bob Dylan. So anyway, the way I've got it set up here, I've got the table, single monitor. Really need two monitors with the speakers. And then down below the table, I have the effects that I'm using, and there's not a lot to it. It's pretty simple. You have a tuner, this overdrive distortion pedal, chorus digital delay, and there's your wah-wah. And then for the amp, I've been trying numerous amps over the last several years, and I've just come across the Mesa Express 550. I like it. It's got some really neat features to it. It's got 4 channels. It's got a clean channel. It's got a blues channel. It's got a channel called Crunch and Burn for heavier sounds. This contour switches here. When you're using your switch box, you're controlling 2 channels, so you have individual settings for the 2 channels while you're playing. This is like a graphic equalizer here. It's really the effect. So anyway, this is the amp I'm using, and you tie all this together. I guess to do a recording, a home recording, to make a CD, you're going to need, in my opinion, you're going to need a mixing board. You're going to need